Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fucking violet hole. God damn it. God damn it. The violet hole of all places to be. But we'll survive. Why am I looking at the Frost Mage today with your beta preview? Why am I looking at the Frost Mage? There's a crime. I present to the jury the Frost Mage, easily the most interesting mage spec in all of Legion. And the crime is fire's doing loads more damage, so no one gives a shit about Frost. It's a fucking tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy, and hopefully what we can rectify today, as we are still in that period of class balancing that I don't think people realize. They're like, fire's doing more damage, everything else is dog shit. I spent all day with an 845 geared 110 mage, and I was supposed to be looking at arcane and fire, but when I was trying frost out, I was like, this is way better, this is way more fun. This is so much more fun to play. So hopefully we're going to show you that it is way more fun, and that way we shouldn't have any big deal. 1 secondo, I just need to check something. Wop, wop, wop. Okay, good stuff. You might have heard something in the background there. In fact, I'm going to have to mute it. Unfortunately, you will not hear that I was, in fact, watching The Dark Knight Rises. Let me try and just get my head back on my shoulders as I tab back into the game. Okay, then. The Frost Mage is so fucking cool, guys. It's actually really criminal in my mind that it's got such a bad rap. A lot has changed since we last looked at it. We had some complaints, for sure, such as the lack of splitting ice. Iceland's not having its signature ability to cleave. Definitely felt weird. But it was understandable, right? We knew why they had done it, because they gave us the chance to reset our frozen orb, which was fucking cool. You get 2 or 3 frozen orbs, even 4 on really good occasions, and it was badass. All these whirling mists of frost that were just absolutely dominating things. But they've taken that out, so that's gone, but we did get splitting ice back. So the point here is that as you have access to the pre-patch, minus the artifact weapon, which means you have like half a class, essentially. I don't think people realize that either, but that's okay. Most of the guys watching this video probably do realize that. I thought we should spend some time, go over the changes and just explain just how cool this is, because this ticks a lot of my boxes for what makes a truly tremendous spec. And a lot of that is to do with having versatility within a spec. It's something I've been very much pushing in my favorites when we've been doing the comparisons and stuff, is specs that are able to be of a theme, like Frost or Fire or Enhancement, but also within it contain many different elements of gameplay, subtle or sometimes major, which keeps the spec really fresh. So when I do a preview for you guys, and you guys are considering, should I roll this? I'm always doing the preview from the perspective of, could I play this for like absolutely ages, right? That's what I'm asking. Could I play this for absolutely ages? And the big questions always come up is, something could be really fun short term, but can I recommend it for a long term play? Sometimes not. The Frost Mage, I absolutely could, and I'm really hoping Blizzard do balance it out in some way. So, what I'm going to do is, we're going to kill this. We've got a couple of portals left to go, so I'm going to do some bad DPS while I go over this. What we have here is a number of talents that, some of them are a little contradictory, for sure, but overall, what they do is provide some really cool and fun things to be able to do. I love this animation on Comet Storm, don't you guys? Fuck me, it's good. So good. So good, I want more Comet Storm. And I will go and fucking say it. I'm gonna fucking say it, man. Frost makes Rune of Power worth. Yeah, it totally does. Yeah, I said it. You might remember my rant during the Fire Mage video. But yeah, it totally makes Rune of Power worth. And that, to me, is a fucking success. An absolute success that Blizzard should be very, very proud of. Because that ain't easy to make Rune of Power worth. But this absolutely does. So we're going to show that off in a second. I have brought some tomes with me so we can do some respecking. Double one? Oh, only the singular. Wah, wah, wah. So we still maintain a lot of stuff. We still have our Frostbolt, Frozen Orb. We still have our Cone of Cold. We still have our pet control. So you've got Water Jet, which if you slide in those Frostbolts while the pet is casting Water Jet, you'll get some more Fingers of Frost charges. We do have Brain Freeze still, but Frost Firebolt is gone. In its place, we have a really sort of shitty fucking spell. My God. In the name of Flurry. Flurry. I can't help but think of Frozen. Olaf, man. Olaf, keeping it real. It's garbage. And what you'll also notice is that it procs very rarely. Like, super rarely. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not going to ice block it. I was trying to go for the interrupt, man. The game sensed that I was going to interrupt. Oh, an asphyxiate. Ooh! Fancy fucker over there. Fancy pants. So we're going to respec in a second because I believe the boss is next. So what we're going to take is a very heavy hitting spec. So what we're going to take is Ray of Frost. We're going to take some Rune of Power. Yeah, and I'm happy to do it. We'll take Thermal Void and we'll take Ice Nova as well. Now you're going to notice that means there's a lot of fucking spells on here. So what I want to show you first is Ray of Frost. So it's basically Void Ray from StarCraft. But its animation is a little weak sauce, but what it does do is hit really fucking hard and works really nicely with haste mechanics. It's a 10-second cast, right? But no matter how much haste you get, it's always going to be 10 seconds. The difference comes in the form of how many times it will tick during that 10 seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our rune down. We're going to fire off a really meaty Ebon Bolt. Fire off our fucking stuff. So here goes our rune. Yeah? We're going to pop our Bloodlust. Gonna get our shit. 455k opener. Not bad. Put this in. Right, now what we're going to do is Frozen Orbit, and we're going to wait for this rune to run out. Come on, proc. Thank you. Thank you. Wait for our rune to run out. There it goes. Now watch this. Pop Icy Veins while on the effects. Now watch how much this ticks for with all these haste effects. When you get to look at 80, 90, 98, 105, 105, 105, 105, 105, 105, 210. Yeah, and this is only, what am I? I'm like 106 or something on this character. Fucking cool, man. It's so good. Use our water jet. This Spectre really does need some tell me whens to get the most out of it. Absolutely. Especially if you want to go with like Glacial Spike as well. Oh, man. Oh, so good. Let's just drop a quick Rune of Power for the ending here. We can get one more meaty Ebon Bolt off. Maybe, maybe. No. Almost got it off. Ray of Frost. Now, yes, it's kind of derpy to use. The animation could be better. I would love to see the animation actually grow in intensity towards the end, which it doesn't do, which is a real fucking shame, unfortunately. It doesn't do that. But if you need to target switch and nuke something, yeah, you've got that thing like Spine of Deathwing, something like that. This Ray of Frost. Oh, damn, 106. This Ray of Frost is really tremendous for that kind of stuff. Because you just literally pop your DPS cooldowns. Maybe you're going to watch for a trinket proc or whatever. And then you're going to just zerg into it. Most exciting spell ever? No. It could really do with some oomphia animation to really signify how much power it's got. But under crazy haste conditions? Holy shit. Anyway, let's switch it up even more. Oh, we're still on. No, we've got to have cooldown. So let's take Bone Chilling again. Because I don't like Lonely Winter. This is just removing your water elemental. Kind of boring. Kind of not that interesting. We'll take Incantus Flow because Mirror Images is boring. Rune of Power on Trash, not that exciting. We'll take Splitting Ice. What we will bring in, though, is the Frost Bomb. Yeah. So what we have with the Frost Mage is a huge amount of ways of guaranteeing that we're going to get ice, some Brain Freeze procs. So what we can do is put our Frozen Orb on. And what you can do is mix that in with your, like, Ebon Bolt. And what you get is all these cool and interesting ways of guaranteeing you could detonate your Frost Bomb. And you can see how much fucking damage comes along with that. Frost Bomb still works the same way that it does absolutely nothing unless you're going to be firing Ice Lances, okay? It does absolutely nothing. Oh, come on. It doesn't do anything. But that mechanic, the added ways of, like, Ebon Bolt, if you don't know, is your artifact ability, guarantees 2 charges of Fingers of Frost, right? So you have that, you have your Frozen Orb, you can even take Frozen Touch, which is like Flame On for the Fire Mages, gives you 2 charges of Fingers of Frost. You have all these different ways of getting consistent, smooth generation, as well as the chance for your elementals to proc them as well. Which means your Frost Bomb is so much more interesting on such a more regular basis, which I really... There's the Brain Freeze. Look how rare it actually is. And you get that piddly-ass animation. Oh, look at it back-to-back now. Shit on me, right? Yeah, game. I see what you're doing. So what we'll do is, like, Ebon Bolt now. Fire off that Frost Bomb, and then you go boom, boom. Fire off a Frozen Orb into all there. Boom, boom. And again. And you get these really consistent modes of it, which makes Frostbomb, for me, way more interesting than it has been in the past. Although you could get really proc crazy in WoD for sure. There's no doubt about that. You can go and pair it up with something like this as well. So you have that style of gameplay where you're tracking an individual and adding that into the gameplay as well. Which gives you, like, really crazy AoE burst. I don't want to be... Can I interrupt that? I can. Look at me interrupting on a mage. All the PvE mages just went, dude, bro. What are you doing? Don't do that. Don't show them that we can actually use counterspell. Get rid of that. I don't want to use Frostbomb for this demonstration, though, because we don't want to do that. What we will add is Glacial Spike, then. So Glacial Spike, again, is this really wonderful spell. What it does is, you see your icicles up here? It stops them being able to fire at the target, right? Unless you're overcapping them. And then what happens is you can fire off this Glacial Spike, which looks awesome. Shh. Boo! Poof, hits like a fucking freight train. Now, bear in mind, it looks like it does tremendous damage, and it absolutely does do tremendous damage, but bear in mind that you are sacrificing all your passive icicle damage to do that. I believe it fires them off if you're, like, capped, so you don't lose. Because you have artifact abilities and stuff that generate, like, 2 icicles, so, you know, you can lose out on that effect. Oh, boo. Boo and a hiss. Boo and a hiss. So this is another one that you also mix in with Rune of Power. If you think about how Rune of Power works with, like, fire or arcane, how do you use it? You use it with, like, combustion, right? You get some nice Phoenix Flames, pyro spam going on. All very nice and good. No one's going to complain. Pretty fun. Think about arcane. You want it to line up with arcane power. Beyond that, yeah, you might slide the odd one in for a good trinket, something like that. With frost, that is totally different. Boo! That is totally different because what happens, which is super fucking cool, is that you have many abilities that hit really fucking hard. They have big cast times, and that's intentional. Let's interrupt that. They have big cast times. So you'll notice Everbolt is like really long cast time, like 2.5 seconds. Glacial Spike, the same. All work differently, though. Not like similar spells. So if you think about the Moonkin, one of my big complaints there was that, yeah, you have all these different spells, but honestly, they all feel kind of samey. These spells don't feel samey. They all work in very different gameplay modes. Ah, get away from that thing. That thing wipes groups so quickly. I don't have counterspell for 1 second. Got it. Got it. So what this means is Rune of Power is significantly more interesting, which, fuck, can I complain about that? No way, man. No way whatsoever can I complain about that, and I never will. If they can make Rune of Power cool, I'm more than happy. Is it a boss now? No, one more pull. Yeah? I'm right. Cool. So, you can even turn the gameplay up to absolutely obscene levels. What you'll notice with the Frost Mage, which is kind of a drawback, and I'll explain why, is that you have a significant amount of spells to add to the bar. To the point where I was, like, struggling for really convenient key bindings. Like, it's alright having loads of key bindings for, you know, odd one-off spells and stuff like that. I hate when tanks tank up here like this. You see what happens, bro? You put this at the fucking end, everybody cries, everybody's sad. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just tank on the edge. Use the room, right? It's fine. That flurry is such a... I mean, I know it's an aesthetic thing. It basically fulfills the same purpose as a Frost Firebolt, but I'd much sooner have Frost Firebolt back over that. I don't know what you guys think, but I absolutely would. I know from my... Ah! See, look how cramped up we are. Look how this guy's having to run all that way. Poor Priesty. Interrupt that. Poor Priesty having to run through all this shit. I gotta stand over here like a loser with no friends. So this is a spec that heavily favors adding more spells to the bars instead of going with like full augmentation. Let's talent swap. We'll take Rune of Power, Glacial Spike, and we'll take Ice Nova. That'll do for now. Yeah, where's Ice Nova? Yeah, cool. I can't remember which this guy... Oh, does this guy fill the room? Oh, I might have fucked up here. Rune of Power. Get that Everbolt going for that meaty Everbolt. Not easy to try and stay in your Rune of Power at this point, as you can probably tell. So we're going to go with a Rune of Power Glacial Spike. So there's the Rune of Power. Let's pop the Icy Veins. 400k there, right for your face. I was trying desperately to stay inside my Rune. I don't know if we're going to have the DPS to do this. Uh-oh. Let's cheese some damage. La, 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 la. Notice the casted blizzard. Right? The casted blizzard. Oh, I should have taken all my AoE. I feel so lame now. I feel absolutely so lame without it. Oh, that was the... If you wasn't sure what that was the Ice Nova. But now we're back to Rune of Power, Ebon Bolt. We've already got one. I will point something out. The spec really doesn't take shape, which is why a lot of people might be seeing some different results than me. If you're playing it on live. Until you get the artifact ability. The artifact ability which... gives you the extra figures of Frost Charge. It should absolutely be baseline. It absolutely should be baseline. Oh, he's using the room ability. That's really clever. Even I didn't think of that. I never even remember that thing exists. Boo! So we got a Rune of Power. We've still got 16 seconds, so I'm going to Rune of Power. Ice Nova. Just to slip that in there while we got that extra Rune of Power for the end of the boss fight. Look how many different variations of gameplay there are. I love respecking this thing all the time. It's really not a problem, and I don't think it's going to be a problem for most good players to actually swap this around, but you compare how many different things you can do here. It's so cool. So my personal favorite for leveling, I will say leveling as Frost. Oh my god. So after I finished doing like some mythics and stuff on the other mage, I just went and did some leveling. Oh, come on, Rune of Power. You're failing me, Rune of Power. I'll take Splitting Ice for trash. I kind of don't want Rune of Power for trash. I really dislike it. Okay, we'll take... This is kind of like my go-to for leveling and stuff. Leveling as Frost is fucking hilarious. Like, Arcane is alright. I did like one level as Arcane. I was like, this is good. But once you hit like 104 with Frost, it got a little bit of artifact power. Like, I shoved most of mine into Frost, so it's like up to here. You start just crushing. Absolutely crushing. And it's really funny. It's a lot of fun, if I'm being honest with you. I do love stuff that's like really silly. Go, water jet, go! Pew! Pew! Go, Flurry. What the fuck is with Flurry? Shield of Eyes, let's get rid of that. Don't like the sound of it. I interrupted as soon as the other guy. He tried to slide and interrupts on the back end. Loser. Boo! It procs so rarely. I mean, I know we had the back-to-backs before, which is the ultimate troll. But honestly, it procs so fucking rarely that I just forget that I even have it. And when it happens, I'm so underwhelmed by such a... It looks like I'm throwing snowballs. Do you guys get that vibe? Like throwing fucking snowballs like some Canadian junkie? You know what I mean? Like, that's like the most evil thing I can think it's doing. It's just... it really bugs me. I know it shouldn't bug me as much as it does, but it really does. Rooted? Oh no! Lol, Mage. As if I wasn't going to finish the cast, though. Psh, psh, psh. Got a frozen orb in. I didn't realize it was full. I do miss. So, in terms of changes since I last looked at this, because I gave it a pretty mixed review last time. I love this thing now. This is so fun. But there was so much opportunity for improvements. E.g., okay? The flurry mechanic is garbage in my mind, and Ebonbolt is a long cast. Now, traditionally, Frost has been known as the more turretous spec. You know, it's the one with all the high mobility, loads of instant casts. That's kind of shifted over to Fire now. Fire barely casts a fucking thing. It could move around constantly with all the Phoenix Flames, the instant cast Pyros. You're just casting Fireball, essentially. Frost has been brought way back down. I would really love Brain Freeze. That's the chance for Flurry to proc and give us the instant cast Flurry. I would really, really love that. To have some sort of interaction with Ebonbolt. Because Ebonbolt is a long cast, and it feels meaty doing it. But I would really like the occasion. I would be okay with it if it procs as rarely as Brain Freeze. And by that, I mean that it can come back off its cooldown naturally without it proccing. But when it does proc, it's really nice. Because it also has that interaction with... the interaction with Fingers of Frost, right? It gives the Ice Lances, which is always a cool result of pressing Ebonbolt in the first place. And that works really nice with Frostbomb and stuff. There's some really nice interaction there. I would like to see something happen with that. I could already foresee perhaps some sort of like, you know, tier bonus or something like that. I haven't looked into the tier bonuses too much in case they just change and I just give you really, really false information. Which is never something I want to do. I would love to see that rather than Flurry. Flurry is really a disaster in my eyes in terms of fun impacts, especially considering the biggest improvement they could easily make with this class right now is not really gameplay-wise. I mean, that's like my biggest gameplay concern is Flurry doesn't feel as cool. It might be better if it didn't look like I was throwing the snowballs. But I would love to see them work on the animations, even over the course of the expansion. Like Ray of Frost, Glacial Spike is fine. Flurry could really do as an animation revamp. All these things could have their animations turned way the fuck up because things that are frosty and cold are awesome. They're so fucking cool. And I would really appreciate if Blizzard would consider that. Oh, this is the boss, isn't it? Don't we get a boss instantly? I can never remember this thing. I do it so rarely, and I dislike it so much. I know that sounds terrible, but it's absolutely true. Let's save our water jet till after this Ebonbolt. Oh, you see that? The way those procs overrode each other? At least that one has the travel time associated to it, which isn't bad. Shadow Beast? Yeah, I can't remember this one. Oh, well. I know this guy's in every single one, but I always expect it to be the spider boss for some reason. I don't know if I've even showed you the spider boss on camera. I might have done at some point. Should have saved my Comet Storm for all the little ads, but I don't think we're going to get any more now. Such wasted potential DPS, am I right, fellas? So sad times. I love that they've made Rune of Power worth and interesting. The math guys will obviously work out which spells are best on, but Glacial Spike feels worth, Ebonbolt feels worth, Ray of Frost feels worth. This is the spider, bitch, I'm sure. Probably wrong. Alright, well, we're lusting, even though I don't have Icy Veins, but whatever. Whatever. Perhaps I'll have to go on icyveins.com and get it back. There's this really difficult mechanic nobody gets where you have to look at the spiders. Love the voice acting though, do you guys? Frost Mage, we're coming to the end of the dungeon now. Let me just say, this is all I needed to show you, and I think it demonstrates so well how cool this spec is. It is so, so cool. It's a ton of fun all the time, and the sheer variety and differences, you could do all different kinds of things. And I really, truly hope that Blizzard does something with the class balance so that fire just isn't the overwhelming victor. Because that would be really sad if it's like it's fire for a whole expansion, especially when they have this gem just sat waiting to be abused and used in all the cool ways that we like being used and abused. But we'll, I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. Down you go. Bye-bye. The Violet Hold and our little Frost Mage there. Tremendous spec. Absolutely adore it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll show off the artifact stuff now. I'm sure you want to know. Artifacts isn't particularly interesting. As I said, the really important one is Icy Hand. Increase the maximum charges of Figures of Frost by 1. Give it to me. It's so far down the fucking tree. You have to come all the way around to get it. Ugh! Should be baseline at this point. The other stuff not so interesting. Black Ice with every chill has a chance to empower icicles, increasing damage done by 100%. It's cold outside, there's no kind of atmosphere. Your Lely's water bolt deals 30% increased damage, and there's 5% chance to generate another charge of Figures of Frost. Yeah, cool, okay. But the big one, animation-wise, activates the Icy Veins, encases you in ice, increasing frost damage you deal by 20%. I'll show you that animation now. Thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you join the crusade. Join the trial. Vote yes on balancing the Frost Mage correctly so we can actually play it. Alright, guys. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.